Great Lakes, coastal, inland lakes, all on the same chip.
Wow. Does that mean...
And at 179.
Wow. Wow. Would that chip, and I'm gonna ask you this question, Rochelle, because a lot of the guys around here are very big fans of a lake that's very close to here, within say an hour's driving distance, which is Lake Champlain in New York and Vermont. Would it cover that lake?
Yeah, it'll cover Lake Champlain and basically the beauty of it is you buy the chip and there's no data on it. There's a special code. You take it to our website, and then you have access to download whichever lakes you want. What you do is you just draw a square on the map and download within that square.
So
and if you want, say you're going on vacation and you want Cape Cod Bay, saltwater area, you draw that square. Then you want to go back and download part of Lake Ontario. You draw that square. So you're basically picking and choosing the data you want, and there's plenty of room on a 2 gig chip to fit it.
So once you've downloaded like a certain area onto that chip and you want to add information, can you remove and replace it with other information on like a regular basis?
Yes.
Wow. So this is totally like interactive, like data management on your chip.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's customizing your chip.
Yeah, to where you go.
Yeah, it's really cool because we've been, at the office, we've been going through some beta testing of the site and how it works. And as far as removing data you've already downloaded, I'm not exactly sure how we'll instruct you, but we're aware of that need and we'll address it. But the neat thing was I was able to download an area and then walk over to one of the plotters we have in the office, plug in the chip, and see the area that I had downloaded.
Wow.
It's really, it's instant gratification.
Oh, boy.
Well, I was going to say, it's a fisherman's wet dream.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's everything a guy would want.
Well, yeah, a fisherman.
It's the happy ending fishing chip.
It is.
It's
right,
great.
right.
So,
well, I mean, if we can do this also, let's say for tournament fishing purposes,
right.
You're at a tournament, but you've forgotten to bring your primary chip to that body of water.
Right.
This is something you could probably do from your hotel room.
You know something? You could probably do this, and Rochelle, maybe you can give me some input here. If I was at the dock and I had internet access on my iPad on my boat, would I be able to put the chip in the iPad and update my chip?
Well, I know my iPad doesn't have an SD card in it,
right.
Card slot. So you need to have a card slot.
Yeah, if I had an SD card reader connected to my iPad, which I can, I could technically update that chip right there at the dock.
Well, see, you have a more up-to-date iPad than I do. Yeah, as long as you have the internet access, and the nice thing about the square that you're drawing, you can make it larger or smaller depending on which area. And if you only need a small region, say one lake,
right,
that's not going to take very long to download.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like as Scotty mentioned, if we get to the dock and I forgot my chip, I can load my SD reader onto my iPad, which I can do. I've done it, and I can go get that one lake, like bang, right there. I got it. Yeah, and I'm out of gas here. And I don't know if you've noticed lately, but a lot of the guys are taking iPads onto their boats. Just for that reason.
Well, we saw Ken's boat.
Correct, and they got the Navionics app on their iPad.
Correct,
and they're running it in waterproof cases I guess side by side with their units.
Right,
I've seen that.
Yeah, and a lot of guys are running that map, the Navionics, on those units, those iPads. I mean, this is an incrable change. What a step change!
It's an evolution in ship technology.
And when is this going to be available, Rochelle?
We're hoping in April. We've been working on fine tuning it, so once we release it, it's good to go. There's another layer of data that is called sonar charts that also will come on that chip, and we're fine tuning, testing it, tweaking it before we release it. So it's been a little bit of a delay, but before the ice melts, hopefully you'll be able to go pick one up.
That is exciting stuff. Is there going to be an official announcement, I guess, coming out of the Navionics site. Will we see that on the Navionics Facebook?
Oh, you'll see. Yeah, absolutely. We'll issue a press release. We'll have it on our website. We'll have it on our Facebook page, which automatically tweets. We'll let you know about it, and there'll be many sources of information. We've got all of our sales reps are involved with forums in their area,
right.
So there'll be forum posts about it, and we've got a huge pro staff team which will be letting people know about it. So as soon as it's ready, there'll be a lot of chatter.
That's great. And also, I was saying to the people earlier, Rochelle, before we let you go, that you guys have got an insane iPhone app that you guys put out that not many people know about, but I think maybe you could say a couple of words about.
The app is great. It basically, same concept. You've got access for $14.99. You've got access to all of our charts in the U.S. and Canada, and you can download the areas that you need. It doesn't take up a whole lot of memory on your phone. You can do tracks. You can add waypoints. You can add to the community edits layer. You can add points that other people will also, with the app, will also be able to see, like rocks or tackle shops, restaurants, things that are important to everyone.
So that information is constantly being, I guess, updated through the site.
Right.
As soon as the user adds the data, it's available to everyone else.
Really?
Wow, that is great. Well, we're pretty excited because we're going to start, on behalf of Navionics, we're going to start giving away some of these apps through our Facebook page, and we're really, really excited to do that. And we're really excited also that we're associated with such a great company that is really leading the edge and setting the bar, technologically speaking, with on-water navigation. I mean, you guys are doing an incredible job. Rochelle, we're going to let you go for tonight because I know you're busy. It's Friday night, and also I know I think you have do you have a singing gig tonight, or does the daughter?
That was last night, and it will never be me.
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day this weekend, Rochelle. Don't say that you'll never sing.
Okay, no, I will never sing in public.
All right, listen, Rochelle, I want to, on behalf of Scott, I want to say on behalf of our listeners, obviously, I want to thank you very much for taking the time out tonight and coming on and talk to our listeners about the great products that Navionics will be pushing out coming this spring. We're really excited about it, and I'd like to also send out the invitation to future shows to have more Navionics people coming on and telling us more about some of the great products that you guys have. So stay in touch. And again, thank you very much on behalf of myself and Scott for showing up tonight, Rochelle. And
great. Great talking to you, Mike.
That is a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you.
Merci. Oh, merci.
There, yeah.
Very well. Very well done. She's incredible. Okay, Rochelle, thank you very much. And we'll be talking to you soon. Stay in touch.
Okay, very good. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Bye-bye. So we go from one. I hope I hung up on the right caller there.
Well,
it starts to get technically challenging.
Yeah, well, when it comes to technical, you're out there, right?
Well,
but isn't that a great April? This thing is going to be unleashed. What?
Yeah, that's going to be an awesome app to get our hands. Not an app, but
like technology.
SD card. Yeah.
You're going to be able to download
update our lakes. And go from one body of water to another and download it.
So much flexibility on the same chip.
And you know what's great about that is you're not going to have different cards with different types of quality. Like all have the same spot.
That's it. And it's flexible.
The data will be the same universally throughout all the spots.
That is insane.
And once they update it so that you can input into the data, and it's automatically given to everybody who accesses the site.
Yeah, you go back, it updates, you get all that information. Someone finds a hotel or a
That's
restaurant.
when we'll get information from guys like Pete Gluszek.
Well, hold on a second, though.
He's got to put his favorite spots on this thing.
Well, yeah, but hold on a second.
If he can put his
do you want Pete's favorite spots after what just happened?
Oh, you're not going to go there.
Are we on mute? We're on mute, right? We're on mute?
We're not being muted. He's muted.
Pete can't hear this.
He can hear us.
No, because what happened at the Classic?
I don't know. Let's bring him on.
Let's get Pete on the show.
Pete, welcome to the show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. Guys. For a guy that didn't win the Classic, I guess I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, well, listen, there's 50 some odd competitors, and only one guy can actually win it. So it's not an easy task by any means.
That's for sure.
Well, I wanted to practice. Does that count? They didn't give me any points on stage, unfortunately.
You know something, Pete? I've been doing fishing for over 40 years, and I've been complaining about the same thing. I have had some monster pre-fishes, and I've got 0 points from them.
Yeah, for some reason, they just don't give you a trophy for that.
I don't get it.
You know, I think we ought to revisit the rules section of the tournaments and do something about this, guy.
I like the way you're thinking. I like the way you're thinking, Pete. I like the way you're thinking. Peter, listen, first of all, congratulations for even qualifying and make it to that level. Just the fact that you were there, I'm sure, was an incredible experience. And you were out there representing, obviously, Basscat boats and Evinrude motors. And the conditions, you know, we followed it, Pete. We followed it very closely. And as I told you when we first interviewed you, you have a lot of followers here in Montreal who, at a subsequent event, the weekend of the Classic, were all asking me the same question as I was following it on my MacBook. How's Pete doing? How's Pete doing? How's Pete doing? I must have answered the question about 500 times. So that being said, you know, if we look at it from a high level, Pete, and you went through your pre-fish and you set up your plan, you set up your patterns, and you had your spots all lined up. Just quickly, how did the tournament play out for you? You know, your plan, your pre-fish plan, and how did it actually wind up in the end?
Well, you know, it's very interesting, and I'll tell you exactly how it went down for me. But first, I would like to thank all the folks in Montreal and Canada that were pulling for me. I want to thank you guys. It's been great, you know. When you qualify for such a huge event, to feel the support from all over the country, all over the world for that matter, you know, it's truly humbling. So I sure do appreciate all my friends from up north pulling for me.
They love you. In fact, they were calling you Pierre.
Well, I took French in high school, so that's what they used to call me in French class.
Well, I'll tell you, they really did. I mean, I don't know why. I think, you know what, to be honest, Pete, I think your association of Basscat and your association of Evinrude and Basscat are very popular up here in the north. And I think just the fact that you're such a great speaker and a great angler, and you're associated, obviously, with Bass University, which we do have a lot of fans up here.
Which we're hoping would come down to Montreal.
Well, maybe we'll have it up here one day, yeah. And they've just taken to you. And they asked me, this is one the main question was, and obviously they've listened to Bass University and heard about it. I said, okay, well, tell Pete, we want to know what changed between the plan and what actually happened. That was the first question they wanted me to ask you.
Well, here's the deal, you know, and I uploaded some stuff on my YouTube channel and my Facebook page from, you know, my practice rounds,
right,
which included some very strong fish, you know, 3.5 to 4.5 pounders, which were enough to win this tournament.
Right.
And I felt, based on my practice, I said that 54 pounds was going to win this tournament.
That's right.
Right.
And would it take 54 ounces to win the tournament?
54 ounces.
And,
you're right.
So I wish I would have gambled on that, but but you know what I based that on was my practice rounds. I had some really strong practice where I was catching above average size fish, and I was catching them on, you know, a couple baits and a couple techniques that I really love to fish, and it was shallow cranking.
Right.
And I was using a combination. I had a little Norman's crankbait, which
right.
had a rattle in it, and
okay.
It ran to about 4 feet. And then I was catching them even shallower on my Quiet Killer crankbait, which is silent. And I mean, they were. If you've ever been fishing in the early season when the water temperature's in the 40s, and they react to that type of bait, the bait is gone. It's such an awesome feeling when they bite it. They take it so aggressively that when you're reeling them in, you don't even see the bait. It's so deep that they just completely commit to it, and that's what they were doing for the 4 full days of practice. And what had happened was, water temperatures were hovering around 45 degrees, and it was slightly warming during practice. It went up as high as 47 degrees. And this is something I, you know, teach about at the Bass University. I don't care how cold the water is. It can be 30 degrees, but if it's warming, you're going to see fish activity.
Right.
And and that's positive fishing conditions.